We've got a mini panel so that the things that I say, we have some experts here, so I won't get arrested. So I won't be a bad actor in one sense anyway. I don't want to be accused of being a bad actor by the SEC, by Screen Actors Guild. That's okay, you know. While he's setting up, this is Blaine McLaughlin. Blaine is from Folio Institutional. He's a broker's broker. He's really there, the back end for a lot of other brokers. And this is Kara Kennedy from Clear Trust. They're a stock transfer agent, and they have sponsored this broadcast, by the way. And everybody knows Sam. Sam Guzik is a famous securities attorney who regularly works with the SEC. Now,
sometimes again.
While you're getting set up, I'm going to go ahead because they're going to come in a few minutes. But this is actually going to be fun because I'm going to pretend to be an issuer that somebody has said Reg A is a really good idea, and an issuer public offering, an IPO. That's what IPO stands for, by the way, issuer public offering. It takes the place of what used to be called a direct public offering, and it has no underwriter. It's just an issuer that wants to sell some stock. And he can still have a sponsoring broker. The sponsoring broker provides a best effort, but no guarantee on the sales. And the sponsoring broker also provides FINRA compliance and things like that. You can still syndicate it with other sponsoring brokers. And like I said, it replaces the old direct public offering. The nice thing about Reg A, probably the two most important things are the ability to test the waters. You all know what that means. It means I can go out and say, if we sell some stock, would you buy some? You don't have to buy it, but we'd like to know if you want to buy some, and you have some disclaimers, and you can actually go out before you spend any money and actually find out if you could possibly have a successful offering. And the sale, of course, to non-accredited investors. You all know how I feel about that. I feel like I should be able to buy stock from anybody at any time, otherwise you're discriminating against me. The nice thing about it is you can have a continuous offering. In other words, if I'm a movie production company, I can sell some stock to get going, then I can sell some more stock later for the production, and then I can sell some more stock later for the prints and advertising, and next year I can sell some more stock to do another movie if I wanted to. What a wonderful thing. Before you do a Reg A, you better assemble a team. And you know, the nice thing about it is most of the people up here and most of the experts in the room will give you a free consultation before they want to get your business so that you can ask them advice. Say, listen, I'm thinking about a Reg A. What do you think, Sam? Right? And he'll give you like a once-over in the hopes that he gets some business from you, and so will everyone else. But you got to have a marketing company like Media Shares or one of these other experts that were up here today. You got to have a great securities attorney. You got to have a great transfer agent. You got to have a great registered broker, and you got to have an accountant with the Reg A. A PCAOB standard audit, not necessarily a PCAOB firm, which makes it much less expensive if you just do it by the standard instead of going with a large firm. So the marketing company creates a story, the attorney approves of the materials, and you launch your Test the Waters campaign, and you better have a good enough Test the Waters campaign, a good enough marketing plan to actually be able to determine whether the marketing should go, whether the offering should go forward. And you only proceed if the Test the Waters gives you that idea that you're going to be successful. Marketing strategies. I've only got 15 minutes here, but basically you go in every direction. You use all of the tools you heard earlier from Steve and Gary and people like that, all the tools. You call everybody and find out and test it every possible way you can to see if this is going to be successful. And then when you do, you use all of these things. You try to get on a good PR person and get on Bloomberg, and you just think of everything you can possibly do to get the offering sold. So, I'm one of those people that believes you really shouldn't do a true crowd financing unless you have a crowd. There's a guy named Adam Carolla, and he got $1.3 or $1.4 million in 30 days to make his movie. He's got a radio show, and he also made one of the funniest trailers I've ever seen in my life. So he had a radio show with several million followers, and then said, hey, you want to finance my movie? And send him all the radio followers to his website. I was talking to a gentleman earlier today about race horses. I said something about Derby shares, and he came and says, you know, that's an interesting idea. There are people that want to follow things, NASCAR teams, movies, race horses, Broadway shows. If you've got something that's fan-focused, that's really what Media Shares is interested in. Now, why would I want 1 million single shareholders? I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you $20 from somebody, and they're going to give you $20, and they're going to give you all of the data that's found on the suitability form on a brokerage form. They're going to tell you how much they make. They're going to tell you where they live. They're going to tell you whether they're married or not. They're going to tell you, they're going to give you their ACH payment information. So now you've got all of that data on a person and $20. How about 1 million of those? Would you like that? I would. That's what I think. That's why you want to have 1 million shareholders that each give you $20. Okay. But in order to do this, you have to have a transaction methodology to sell a single share. I went on Schwab's website and tried to buy a single share, and it was ridiculous. They said, you got to put in $1,000. I said, well, no, I just want to buy one, you know, a little chat box there, you know, I want to buy one share. They said, well, it's $1,000. $1,000 plus $25 for the transaction? How are you going to do that? Well, that's where Blaine comes in and Folio comes in, because they have a way in book entry to sell shares in smaller increments. Want to talk about that?
Sure.
We're a broker-dealer, and you can come online and open an account and buy shares. And, of course, you can buy Apple and IBM and Google and any public security, and you can also buy any non-publicly listed security that's available on the platform, because the issuer came and set it up with us, such as, you know, Gene and the people that he works with. We're a fractional share broker-dealer, so smallest increment you can buy is a penny. And not that we want you to buy just a penny, but there's no real meaningful limit.
Do I have to put in $1,000 before I do anything?
We could set up whatever pricing plan you want, but our base pricing plans are no minimum investment amounts, no minimum purchase amounts. So it's a way for people to onboard. I think I'll answer the obvious question that might come up later. Folio, do you really want a million, you know, $20 accounts? No. We want 1 million accounts where they happen to buy many $20 purchases.
And you also know that some of those accounts, hello? Is my time up? They also know that some of those million accounts are going to turn into real accounts. So if it costs you a certain amount of money to acquire a shareholder, then that's a nice database to pick from. Okay? Yep. Now, Kara's company, Clear Trust, as you know or may not know, Regulation A requires you to have a transfer agent. And they do that for compliance reasons. And Kara, you want to talk a little bit about why a transfer agent is needed and what a transfer agent would do in an offering like this?
Absolutely. So very briefly, what a transfer agent does is we're a shareholder record keeper, but we also serve as a liaison between the shareholder and the issuer, which actually ends up saving the issuer quite a bit of time during an offering like this, because we would do a lot of the hand-holding for their investors.
If I'm going to put my shares in book entry and his brokerage, why would I talk to you?
So if you...
I'm going to put the shares in his account. I'm going to sell shares from his account. Why would I talk to you? It's very important.
Sure. Well, your interaction with us would be really if you were to be a registered investor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So can I do a Reg D first, and then put the shares in a Reg A?
That would be a legal question, so I wouldn't opine.
Actually, I asked that question to Sam the other day. Sam, you want to talk about that?
I'm sorry, which question was that?
Reg D first.
Yes.
Because I want to go out and sell pre-IPO shares.
Yes.
to someone before the offering, it's appealing to an investor to know that he's going to be buying shares at a discount,
Right.
right? And so I can do that, right? I can do a Reg D and then do a Reg A?
Absolutely. You can even technically do them at the same time.
Yeah?
Yes.
So if that would be the case, then
If you've got a
yes.
good attorney, right?
If you've got a good attorney. If you don't have a good attorney, you're going to be stuck in the mud.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, if I've got those Reg D shares,
Absolutely.
that's where you come in, right?
Yes, yeah. So we would be responsible for issuing and maintaining those shares in your account. One advantage to Clear Trust is the entire process would be paperless for the investor. So they would receive book entry shares much like if they were to invest directly with Folio.
Okay. And you mean I don't get a paper certificate?
If you'd like a paper certificate, you're more than welcome to have it. And we found that there are certain shareholders who do like to have something material to confirm their investment. But paper certificates are a liability. There's a risk of loss. There's a cost associated with shipping and storing them safely. So you, by all means, do not need a paper certificate.
Well, one of the things Media Shares wants to do with movie fans, and all the New York brokers said, you got to take all that movie stuff out of your business plan. But let's pretend I'm doing a movie.
Maybe they
Can
want
I
a
send them a
certificate.
JPEG that says Gene Massey owns a share of the stock in this? Because it's in book entry, and they want to hold something, right?
Sure,
So
sure,
can I make
absolutely.
up a JPEG that says not negotiable, but then I put a picture of the movie on it or something?
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that we do is we do branded book entry statements. So they're typically branded with the company's logo and color scheme and everything like that.
Right,
And so
so that's what we're
you
talking
take that application, and in 30 seconds they would have their JPEG, or they
And
can
it's
have
from a
physical.
transfer agent, so it looks
Precisely.
so it's real.
Absolutely. So it's certified.
That's great. That's
Yes.
great. Okay, so Quick Shares is actually a page on your own website that clicks through to Folio, so you can issuer could actually sell stock on their own website, but they're really going to the broker. It says you're now entering Folio, right? Right. Yeah. Now going to Folio's website, but you could have the page, the beginning, initiating page on the issuer's website, like on a movie website or a NASCAR website or something, right? So, from start to finish, test the waters, assemble the team, right? And would this be the place that I would assemble the team after test the waters? Would that be a good place to hire everybody? I've tested the waters, it looks like it's gonna go great guns. So then I would hire all you guys, right?
I'd hire Sam before I took the
I
Would
would,
you?
yeah. I would.
Okay. Probably talk to Sam, take him a few lunches and things like that to get it, pick your
No more lunches.
Okay. So you hire everybody and then you issue the shares. How does that work? I mean, like, where are those shares in? What is book entry and where are those shares?
So the shares are maintained electronically in our database. So they're
If I'm an issuer and I give you a call, I say, I'm gonna issue some shares. What do I do?
It's incredibly simple. We have a streamlined process for issuers. Very simple PDF form, fill in the blank. It's actually, it's a corporate resolution, so it's a formal corporate document for them. We've just simplified it for them. Anyway, they fill it out, email it to us, and it's done. Same day turnaround.
That's great.
Yeah, very simple.
Okay. And then I move the shares to the broker. Now, how does that get into you? It goes like over the digital thing or something? Or how does that get into my account with you?
easy.
That would go through us, yes.
Okay. So you put them in the account there.
Yes.
And then I would sell those shares from that account?
I'm going to say yes. A slightly longer answer is
Yeah.
the issuer authorizes the shares, sets them up in their transfer agent account because it's a Reg A Tier 2 offering. You need a transfer agent for that.
Okay.
The transfer agent takes those million shares, for example, puts them in your issuer account at Folio. When we process the closing, whenever you've met the minimums, then we take the shares out of your issuer account and put them into the investor accounts. We take the cash out of the investor accounts and put it in your issuer account. At that point, we're done, and you've got a bunch of money in your account to do whatever you need to do.
And all that happens like in the dark of night?
We do it as a T+1 settlement, so you push the execute button today, we have settled and cleared everything by tomorrow.
Okay. And so I create the stock purchase web page. Use that API to connect to the broker from the issuer. We've already done this. We've already sold those 506 shares. You got to have an audit. You got to file the 1A. You got to continue marketing. That's the nice thing about Reg A. Finally, the SEC declares your offering qualified, and the sales begin through the brokerage, up to $50 million per year. I love that ongoing offering. I can sell up to $50 million, and next year sell another $50 million. Right, Sam? Yeah.
Every 12 months.
And you have any comments, Sam? You've been quiet over there.
I'm just listening to you. You're doing good so far. No mistakes.
Okay. Haven't done anything wrong?
No, not yet.
Not going to be a bad actor.
No.
Not going to be a bad actor, am I?
You're doing good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any quick questions? Because I know Dara wants me out of here. Any quick questions? Really hard questions? Easy questions? No questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute. Howard's got one.
You had it on your slide, but you went over it real quick in the interest of time. But being able to integrate a 506D offering with the Reg A Plus, where you can be testing the waters of Reg A Plus, while actually collecting money from accredited investors using the same marketing materials with certain rules followed. I think you skipped over that, and I think maybe you should mention that because I think that's really important.
Well, I'll go a step further. And one of the things that we're doing now with two different prospective issuers is we're actually using the Reg D money to pay for the Reg A offering and explaining to them, instead of you're just investing in a movie and hope it makes money, you're investing in a public offering. You'll have a liquid stock if all goes well, but that gives, and they buy, a $10 share for $5 or however much you want to discount it. But that's the nice thing about the Reg A. By going to an investor, a 506 investor, and saying, we've got a Reg A planned, you're going to be liquid. If you just go to somebody, these guys that are buying these 506 shares, they're restricted for how long, Sam? A year?
At least a year.
At least
Yeah,
a year.
Let me address this question if you don't mind here. You raise an interesting point. One of the things the Jobs Act has done, it's not fully implemented, is to create a continuum. And I'm sure you're aware from startup, Title III, we don't have it yet. Then Title II, do your private placement. Now you can use general solicitation. And we've got Reg A plus. And that's a very natural path, and I think it's important. We got some clues if you read the final release on the Reg A plus rules as to what you can do with Reg A plus and 506 at the same time. You can do a 506C and a Reg A plus at the same time. That's not a problem. What's even more interesting was if you're doing a 506B, which is your traditional private placement, and then you decide you want to go out and test the waters on a regulation A plus, or you're doing general solicitation, does that in fact shut down your private placement where you can't do on 506B, where you can't do general solicitation? And the SEC says you can still do your 506B, but you just need to prove that every investor that came into that 506B came through pre-existing relationship, didn't come from that general solicitation. But 506C, which is probably what you're doing and will be doing, lots of folks, you can do that all day long. So.